What is going on today, guys? Welcome back to the Bet Leveling Show. I'm Alan. I'll be your host today for NBA Slate. Today is Sunday. I know it's a big NFL slate. A lot of people probably focus on NFL, but today I'm focused on some NBA. I've been ramping up. We've been hitting some great plays, some great picks in our Discord. It's completely free to join. Go ahead and just tap, join up, subscribe, do all the things, rest of it as well. And just come join the community. Great community. We got some great players, good picks, good insight, and some good things going on right now. So let's continue to ramp up. Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate just from the 6 p.m. and over. I know I'm getting this video out a little bit later than expected, but feeling good today. Really feeling good. It's a great NBA slate, some great insight, some good picks. And so let's just dive straight into it. I'm going to do that for you here, and I'll give you guys my picks at the end. Let's get it. Before we go into the slate, let's go over some quick recaps of the day before. So yesterday, I put in 10 plays on the day, was able to cash 3 out of the 7, and went up 10 plus units. Day before that, I only put 2 plays, wasn't really feeling the NBA Cup slip like that, so I did a couple small same game parlays, was able to cash both of those, so went up another 10 plus units again. So that's back-to-back days of 10 plus units. So give you guys a quick, a little bit of transparency there. I think, a lot of times people will tell people and you have no idea what they've been doing. Some things can sound good, but do they have the things to back it up, right? So just to show you some of the wins we've been doing in the past couple days, cashed out on some money line and spread. This game right here was pretty crazy. The Knicks and the Spurs, I knew the Knicks were going to take it out. They did struggle a little bit, but I knew they were going to win. The Spurs, I knew they were going to cover. I did not expect them to win. That was crazy. If you guys knew the Spurs were going to win, please comment below and tell me how you knew that. I just knew they were going to cover. I did not expect them to win. That's crazy that happened. And it's great, even crazier too, because before that game played, I think they went up to plus 11.5. Like an hour or two before the game. So that's insane that they actually pulled out the win. Wemby and the Spurs are looking really, really good this year. So they beat the best team in the league. I guess they wanted that NBA Cup money so bad, right? Again, just going through a couple of the winning slates. I like to do a little bit of small leg plays, plus 200, plus 400. I think those are the best ways to do it as of late. NFL's been weird, NBA's been weird, but doubling up your money is just the best thing that I've seen personally, right? Because again, if you can make $50 to $100 profit daily, you do that in a 30-day span, you're gonna make an extra $3 grand, right? So that's one of the things I like to do. Try to double up. I'm not big and going crazy on the long slips. I do sometimes, but that's not where the money's going to be made. So these are the slips I could like. If you ever want to check out my plays, I post on Live to Amuse on my X page, and then we also post for free in the Discord. All my plays are on below, and then Garrett, he takes care of the NFL plays. So if you want to see all those plays, again, just join. All the link and everything below. And if you guys have some great plays and everything and insights, go ahead and post in the comments as well. We'd love to hear it. But just want to give a quick recap, show you guys exactly what's been going on the last couple of days. Looking to continue that momentum. So let's continue to go. I want to go through these slates. 6 p.m. I'm going to start it higher, and then at the end I'm going to give you guys my plays. So let's continue to dive deep. Let's get to the first. All right, so the first game I want to dive deep into is the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are at home. They are plus 2.5 right here currently, and that's not. It's crazy far. I mean, they don't expect the Brooklyn Nets to lose by more than 3. And keep in mind, with the Brooklyn Nets being at home, they get an extra 1.5 to 2 points being at home as well. So they do think the Milwaukee takes this, and I'm sure they probably think as well that the Milwaukee Bucks is going to win by 4 or 5. The one thing to keep in mind here is they do not have Giannis. They do have a couple injuries reports out as well. So, that's something to keep in mind. I believe Brooklyn Nets doesn't have Cam Thomas as well still. So it's going to be Michael Porter Jr. just holding it down, which he has been doing phenomenally. So I don't blame him there. But you guys see the thing. You guys see where the money's at. Again, I love to say follow the money. Right now, following the money here, looks like they got the money line right here on the Milwaukee Bucks, which, again, I don't blame that at all. The spread is 75% in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks, and then it looks like the game, the public is going with the under. So I don't hate those. I don't hate those in the slightest. I do believe Milwaukee takes this, but I can see a Brooklyn Nets kind of ramping up. They are building some momentum a little bit, nothing crazy. Not when it comes to wins, but just with chemistry, how they're playing together, how they're getting the flow of things. Coaching's doing pretty good, and if they make a subtle couple moves, Cam Thomas gets back, I do think they can get some momentum. But I am going to fade the Brooklyn Nets as well. I think I'm with the public when it comes down to the money line, but I do like the Brooklyn Nets spread. So if I were to pick anything, it's definitely going to be the spread in this game, but we'll be seeing. I will say also the over. I think it could be a high-scoring game. I don't see, people have had a couple days off, especially with the NBA Cup coming on. I don't see this being an under. I think a lot of players might have been watching the NBA Cup and just been ready and amped up to play today. And I think it could be a high-scoring game. So if I were to pick a couple plays from this slate with the money line and spread, I would say the spread for sure, and then I would like the over. So let's see how that goes. Those are my plays for this game. Now let's move to the next. Next game we have is the 76ers at Atlanta. Looks like a lot of money is on the Philadelphia, not only to win but to cover as well. A lot of public is fading the Hawks all in all, and then we have the money, as you guys can see, on the under again. So back-to-back games on the under. Public is thinking that they're going to go under. I don't know. Let's look at it though. So right now we have the Philadelphia 76ers at plus 5.5. So the Philadelphia are the underdogs, even though they are the public favorites. They are the underdogs, and they do think a lot of people, the public do think that they're going to cover the spread as well. So that's something to keep in mind there. And then Atlanta is minus 194 on the money line here. So they are the favorites. I honestly think if I were to go based on this, because there is so much on the 76ers to win, that would have Vegas pay out a lot of money if the underdogs win. A lot of people are on the underdogs, and if they do win, they got to pay out a lot. So I think I'm going to go with the Atlanta Hawks money line on this game. If I were to go over under, I can see them going over. The line right now is at 224. I can see them going over that. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Like I said in the last segment, there is just like, with all these teams, seeing all the NBA Cup going on, seeing OKC just losing last night, see a lot of teams playing, and they've also had a lot of rest. So, a lot of teams have had about 3-4 days off. I think they can come out swinging, and not expected to, say that they're going to hit everything, but I can't really see them, especially having so many days off, that they're going to lose. So I do think that they have high-scoring games and high-scoring totals here throughout the day. We'll be seeing, but I do like the Atlanta Hawks to take over this game. So that's the play I'd be going with when it comes to the money line and spread for this game. The next game we have is the New Orleans Pelicans against the Chicago Bulls. Bulls are at home. We have the Bulls as the favorites. Of course, they are minus 175 currently for the favorites. They're minus 4. And then the over-under for this game is 249.5. This is going to be the highest scoring total of the night. So they think a lot of the Bulls and the Pelicans going to have a high-scoring game, high-scoring total and all, which I don't blame them. And this is probably my biggest and favorite game that I'm going to attack when it comes to player props, just because you can find so much. When I see high-scoring games, high-scoring totals, and they're going up, I'm going to favor those player props because there's going to be a lot of action going in this game. But again, let's follow the money really quick. So we have the Bulls as the favorites. The public is going majority of the Bulls money line. I don't hate that at all. It makes the most sense. Pelicans have not been able to figure things out as of late. They've had a couple injuries. Now, people are back. Jordan Poole is back. He had a pretty good game last game, 22 points. So that's not bad at there. Trey Murphy's back as well. He's doing his great numbers there. So I think the biggest missing piece they have here is Zion Williamson. He might make his return today, or it could be later in the week, but if he comes back, I do think they keep it close. I'm not too sure if he's fully 100% ruled out yet. I did see a couple questionable updates from yesterday, but we will see if he plays. If he plays tonight, I do think they could get it upset, but that's only if Zion Williamson plays. If he doesn't play, I think I'm just going to stick to the spread on this game and take the Pelicans spread. I don't hate the over, but the thing is with that over, it's just so high, 250. That means both teams have to score at least a minimum of 125 each, or one team hit 140, the other team hits 110. That's a lot of points. Not saying it's impossible, but it is a lot. So I would be kind of process to go towards the under for this game, surprisingly. So I think I might fade the public on the total and go for the under. And then I do like the Pelicans spread in this game. So that's what I'll be looking at this slate. But let's keep it going. We got a big slate, so let's keep it going. The next game we have is the Sacramento Kings against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves as extreme favorites. They are minus 460. They are minus 10 for the spread. And then the total over-under for this game is about 231.5, 232, depending on the apps as well. If you guys are curious, by the way, I use Pickett to get all these lines ups. It's completely free, and it helps track my plays and my picks. No endorsement here whatsoever, but it's just want to give you guys some transparency of how I look at things and how I'm looking at it right now. But yeah, so, as you guys can see here, I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves are the massive favorites, which makes the most Anthony Edwards has been a complete dog for this team. He's coming back as well. I think he stayed out a little bit. He didn't play the last game against the Golden State Warriors, but Julius Randle did his thing. And, I think that momentum continues. DiVincenzo did his thing as well against his former team, which makes sense, right? So I think a little bit he might, if you guys want to kind of get risky with me here, DiVincenzo on the less, it might be the play today. Unless he keeps momentum, we'll see. But it's not in any of my picks, but I just thought of that honestly out the top of the head here. But we'll see. We will see. But Anthony Edwards is back. It's going to be a full team lineup here, so I can understand completely why this team is the most favorites. The Sacramento Kings has quite the few injuries. I mean, they don't. I believe Zach LaVine, DeRozan, and also Sabonis. Those are all people that if you need the whole entire roster to be playing on this team for them to at least keep up with the favorites. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. I don't know about the spread. That minus 10 is a bit high for me, but it's not impossible. So if I were to pick anything, maybe the spread of going towards the Sacramento Kings at plus 10.5. Honestly, I probably would alternate it to put it at a plus 14.5. Just because, I mean, if they lose, I can't see them lose by 15. That'd be a lot. But, it's definitely a possibility. I can't say that it's not. That it's not impossible. It could definitely happen, especially if Edwards has a lights out game. I will say when it comes to this game here, it is one of those ones that are blowout proof. The National Blowout Association is what they call the NBA, depending on the types of slates. And I think this might be one of those slates. It could be a high-scoring game, but in favor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So money line, I'm going to stay away. It's just too juiced. The spread, it could go either or. And then the total, they look like it's going to go for the over. I will say this: if it is a blowout, the total for this game will go under, because again, when there's a blowout potential, they're going to put in bench, towards half of the third, top of the fourth, and then not saying the bench is the worst. I mean, they're in the NBA for a reason, so they did something great there, but they're not going to score as well as the starters for this game. So I'm going to probably fade the spread, fade the money line. This is just too much juice. I would attack the under for this game for the most part. So that's what I like on this game here, just looking at it. But other than that, let's keep it going. All right, next game we have is the Los Angeles Lakers against the Phoenix Suns. Now, this game is probably one of my favorites. I grew up a Laker fan, grew up a massive Kobe fan, so I always have my eye on the Lakers. I love what Luka's been doing over there. Luka is a complete dog, so I really like these games here. And whenever I think of these two teams playing against each other, I'm always thinking of that one play where Luka's looking straight up at Devin Booker during the playoffs. So this is funny. I always believe that Doncic and Booker have that rivalry, that internal rivalry there, which I love. I feel like the NBA needs to get back to that competing way where you just have rivalries. When you see a player, you're just like, I'm ready to go off. So I do like these matchups here, and I think the public knows and the sports books know that this is going to be a close game because there's not really many favorites. The Lakers are the minus 118 favorites, which makes sense, but the spread is only at plus 1.5. So they think this game can literally go either way, and it makes sense because the Phoenix Suns are at home. So again, I mentioned that whenever there is a plus 1.5, 2.5, they give the Phoenix Suns a little bit extra juice just because they are at home. So I do think the Lakers are the complete favorites here, which makes the most sense. They have momentum. They've been doing really great. And the Phoenix Suns haven't been doing the absolute best. They've had injuries. Jalen Green's been off and on. He's played a couple, but he hasn't really been able to build momentum. And it's really just been Booker and Mark Williams for the most part. So I don't blame the sports books when it comes down to picking the favorites here. I do think the Lakers pull this out. That's who I'll be riding with as well. But let's look at the numbers. Again, we got to follow the money. Doesn't matter what you think. Just follow the money to help, skew exactly where you want to move, right? So we have 78% of the public on the Lakers. Makes sense. But they do have, a good 69% of the people thinking that the Phoenix Suns do cover that spread. The spread is so thin. It's at +1.5, +2.5. So maybe a lot of people are hedging. Not too sure. But I think if I were to bet on this game other than the money line, I think I would take the Lakers spread at -1.5. If they win, they're going to win by at least 2 or more, at least in my head, right? I would think so. So I don't see the Phoenix Suns pulling this out. It's possible, but I just don't think they have enough, great guys that can really get the job done with that extra time. They got, the Lakers have Ayton, they have Reeves, they got LeBron James back, they got Doncic, so they just have too many units for the Suns to keep up with, in my opinion. So I am going to go with the Lakers on this one here. But let's go to the last game of the slate, and then after that, let's go over my player props. So let's keep it going. Last game of the slate, we have Golden State Warriors against the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I will say the Golden State Warriors are the favorites. They are sitting at -195. They're -4.5 to cover the spread, and the total over/under for this game is sitting at 233. Some sports apps or sports books are favoring it at 235. So, there's a lot to look at here. The public is going towards the Golden State Warriors way, the money line and the spread. They do think the Golden State Warriors are going to win by -4.5 or more. I don't blame it. I don't blame the public in the slightest. I don't hate that at all. I would have picked the Golden State Warriors 1,000%. But the one thing that's making me not want to pick the Golden State Warriors is the money. I like to follow the money. You got to follow the money. And one of the things is when you see something like this, that makes me want to go with the Portland Trailblazers to cover the spread. If I were to do it here, I probably would do an alternate spread, maybe Portland Trailblazers +9.5. I know it's a little juiced, but I can't see them losing by at least 10. I do see them keeping it close. If you want to do an extra one, maybe +7.5 is probably the highest or the lowest I'll go here. I just can't see the Warriors losing. They just, I know they just lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves with no Ant Edwards, but look, that was Steph Curry's first game back in a couple weeks. So I think this game he gets, a little bit more momentum. Jimmy Butler does a little bit more this game. I'm not sure if Draymond Green gets back or not. But I think the Warriors just have a little bit more, people and units that can really get the job done here. So I don't blame the public for, going towards the Golden State Warriors all the way. But I'll be curious to see what the lineups look like before the game, which could kind of push my decision here. But I think I'm going to stick with the Portland Trailblazers here when it comes to the spread, just because following the money, that's just where it looks like it's going to be. So we'll see tonight. And then obviously a lot of people are on the over for this game. I probably will stick to the under as well. Golden State Warriors is not one of those teams that they can have high scoring, but they do like to make a lot of plays, run plays, slow down the game, let the fouls hit, so I don't see them going crazy, when it comes down to scoring a lot, and that's for both sides of the ball, both teams here. So I would fade the over on this game in my opinion, but I could be completely wrong. At the end of the day, it's all gambling. It's, no one fully knows. I just want to look at the data and go based on that with my strongest opinion. So that's what I'm going to go for this game. But now let's get to the player props. I'll show you guys my 4 favorite best plays that I really liked and delve deep into and see what we can cash out today. So let's get it going. The moment you guys all been waiting for, you're like, where's the plays? What's the picks? Alan, what plays are you going to be doing today? Well, here we go. So I got a 4-legger for you guys today. I like these plays a lot. So I got Michael Porter Jr. to go over 36 PRA. It was 35.5, but the minute I was going to play that, it went to 36. I missed it, but it's okay, because if it hits 36, it will push and turn this into a 6X if the rest of them cash, which I will still take the 6X. I told you guys before, my sweet spot is around +300 to +400, and so getting a 6X, I will take that with favoritism. I am not going to complain about that in the slightest. So, I'm going to go with that. I'm sticking with my gut. Michael Porter Jr., 36 PRA. And then we have Jordan Poole, 24.5 fantasy score. Anthony Edwards, 9.5 field goals made. And then Jimmy Butler, I do like him to get 20 or more points today. I do want to show you guys the reasons why I picked this game. If you guys not sure, this is Prize Picks. I use Prize Picks for these types of plays just to see where the lines are. And if I like them, I'm going to pull the trigger on them. But let me show you guys the quick reason on why I went that. So Michael Porter Jr. here, this is the reason why I went that. So Michael Porter Jr. has hit this 4 out of his last 5 games. Now, I know sometimes that might scare people, but I do think this guy is going to keep the momentum going. Cam Thomas is still out. He's got to do a lot of the ball movement. He's got a lot of playmaking to do. And I will say, when he goes against the Milwaukee Bucks, there's just something that's in him that he likes to go off against. He's playing at home. He's had a good amount of rest days. I think he continues that momentum up here. And one of the things is that I looked at as well is that, his RA, rebounds and assists, is probably my favorite second prop against him if you don't want to go with the points, because the points are a little bit juiced. It's sitting at 26 points. Not saying you can't hit it. He, of course, can hit it, but it is pretty high. So if you don't like the PRA or the points, I do like and recommend doing the rebounds assists. Last time I checked, it was 9.5. It might have changed to 10 or 10.5, depending on when you guys see this. But that's probably my next play. But either way, I really like this play. When he goes against the Milwaukee Bucks, he's actually covered that RA, rebounds and assist line, every single time, and that's even when he was playing on the Nuggets as well. So I don't see him not hitting that and then also hitting his points. He's the only one that can really score on that team. So I really do like 36 PRA. I'm going to stick with this and hold my ground on it. And so let's dive into exactly why I picked Jordan Poole. This is Poole right here. So I do like Poole here. Poole is one of those players that has been sitting for a minute, but he came back. His first game back, he had 22 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound. Not too crazy, but he's scoring. And the one thing that I kept in mind for this play here is that against the Bulls, this was the highest scoring game of the night. And I think Jordan Poole will be a big factor in that, especially if Zion sits. I think Jordan Poole, with him bringing up the ball, right now he's actually set up as shooting guard, which makes sense. But at the end of the day, I do think he's going to give some great minutes. I can see him getting a couple steals, playing a pretty good game, keeping that momentum from last game. So I'm going to stick with his fantasy here. I did like his points, but they did move it twice. I saw it at 14.5, but the last time I was going to check it, it was at 16.5. It doesn't scare me. I do think he can hit 17 points, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go with the fantasy here, just because I know he can get some steals, some good playmaking skills. The only thing that scares me is that he can make some bad plays sometimes, which lowers the fantasy score. But honestly, with him hitting 32 and 0.7 the game before, after his first game back, I think with one of the highest scoring totals of the night game, I think he can get 24.5 fantasy score, no problem. If he misses it, I don't think he misses it by much. I'm going to stand my ground on this one. This is probably one of my favorite ones. So let's keep it going. Let me show you the reason why I picked the other game or the other players as well. Next play I wanted to go over was the Anthony Edwards. So 9.5 field goals made. Last game he's hit 15 when he played the Phoenix Suns. Now, the games before that, he only made three against New Orleans Pelicans and Clippers. Those were slow games, but the games before that, prior to that, he had 13, 16. So he's hit this line three times out of the last 5, and every single time he's hit it, he's done it by at least 3 or more. So I am going to go ride this here. His line right now for the points anyways is about 27.5, and you're going to have to make at least 10 shots to get to 27.5, and I do think he goes over his points line as well today. Hopefully, the only thing that can prevent this is if it is a blowout, which there is high potential of that, but if he could at least keep it going early and hit at least 5 or 6 shots before halftime, I am going to like this play a lot. So I did take that into account, but I still liked it. I'm going to keep this at 9.5 points here, or 9.5 field goals made with Anthony Edwards. One of my lower liked plays, but definitely strong and confident for sure. So that's why I wanted to add it to the 4-legger. We'll see what happens, but I do really, really like this play. I think he hits it with at least by the third quarter in my hopes. So let's go to the next game or next player prop and see exactly the reason why we did that one. Last player prop of the day. So this one right here is probably going to make a lot of people scratch their head on this one. Jimmy Butler, over 19.5 points. He has not hit it in any of his last 3 games, but he's hit it 2 times in the last 5, which is against Houston and New Orleans Pelicans. Now, The reason why I think he's going to hit 20 is because if you look at the last games when he did hit this line, Houston, Pelicans, both teams play pretty similar and have the same structure as the Portland Trailblazers, which is who they're playing today. I do think he can keep that 20 plus because he didn't hit it. Especially with Steph Curry being out as well, that probably helped out a bit. But I do think even with Steph, he can still average this here. Last game against Minnesota, he got 15. It was fairly close. The game before that against Chicago, again, another high-scoring team, he hit the line at 19 exactly. So, with that 19 and a half, it's close. If we did the 18 and a half, he would have hit it 3 out of his last 5. But I like to do the regular line here. But if you guys do need to lower it to the 18 and a half or 17 and a half, I do think that's a good one as well. You might get lower odds, which is completely fine. Again, you guys know my theory anyways is get the lower odds. Play it safer. That's always the best bet. But I'm going to stick to the 19 and a half here. I do think he plays it, or I think he does hit it. And this was also another one that just kind of spoke to me. This was more of a gut feeling, like, even though the data might not back it up as much, it was just one of those things in my head where I was like, I think today's going to be a Jimmy Butler day over a Steph Curry Wardell type of day. So this is more of a gut feeling. If you want to leave this play off, you're more than welcome to do so. I don't blame you the slightest. If you want to lower it as well, I don't hate that as either. If you want to do the 18 and a half points, he's hit that at 3 last 5, so I can't see him not hitting that today. But I'm going to stick to the 19 and a half. I do think he hits 20 points today. I think he makes a big impact on tonight's game, and this is what I'm sticking with. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the reason why I went with these players here. So if you guys want to tail it, go ahead. If you want to fade it, that's fine too. I completely understand. If you guys end up taking somebody off and adding another, leave in the comments below exactly who you added and who you took off. I would love to hear the insights there. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope that helps you guys break down and gives you guys a little bit more insights for today's NBA slate today. Love to get you guys' feedback. So anything below, let me know. If you guys want to follow me on X, again, it's at Live to Amuse. Make sure you guys are following us on the Discord as well. It's completely free to join. Go ahead and get in there, and more plays to come in there. So go ahead and get your spot now. If you guys want to message me on X, go ahead. Love to hear you guys' feedback, your insights, and all. So I appreciate you guys tuning in again. My name's Alan, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Later.